Hey friends, Ernie here with the Trader of Futures. It is Friday, September 21st, about 2:30 in the afternoon. I started a live stream a little bit earlier. Hey friends, Ernie here with the Trader of Futures. Got to turn off that other one. Started a live stream a little earlier today, and it got interrupted. Needed to update a registration on a car, apparently, online. Done. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Tilray and its explosion, then implosion, and the little Bitcoin burp, the little Bitcoin that thought it could. And everybody's getting all excited now because Bitcoin is up a few points. I'm being asked, are you shorting Bitcoin yet? And you know that my standing strategy on Bitcoin is to short every rally. Well, let's take a look at what I might do with Bitcoin in this case. So I'm going to go to Trading View. Let's make the chart a little bit bigger, fill up the screen. There we go. And this is a daily view, so I'm going to bring a little bit more of this into play. See if we can get a better view of it. All right. So the next big volume well is right about at 68 or 6,900. And to me, that seems like a good place where I might enter the first short. Second short will likely be right about here, the edge of this volume well. When I say the second short, what I'm referring to is the second position in the original short. So the original short will contain maybe a 1/5 or 1/4 position size. The second will contain another 1/5 position size. And if we do come up to here, around 7,800, then we'll do a 2/5 position size. And then finally up here, probably the last fifth. But that's the extent of what I would do. So as you can see, I'm taking entries on the edges of volume wells because that's where natural resistance is. And so those are good places for entries. So that's basically the plan. I will not even be fully committed when I get up here, I don't think. Let's see. 1/5, 2/5, 4/5, and then 5/5. Full commitment would probably be up here somewhere. When I say full commitment, then it would be one full position size, not even a double position size. And of course, if it turns around at any one of those points, then we'll be looking at targets at these high value nodes. That's basically how I've been playing it all along. Done about 30 of these, and all of them have been successful. And we'll wait to see what happens here. Do I think Bitcoin's going to the moon now? No. Under what pretense? What news? What change in the industry could possibly bring Bitcoin higher? I don't know. Yep, none. Here we go again. Ray says, Ernie, Tilray stock upsurged on news of company got okay to export for medical use in caps form to a research of U of California, San Diego, caps containing cannabidiol and THC. Okay, that's great, except that it didn't follow through. So that was the surge yesterday. What are we saying today? So here's Tilray. We can see, yep, yesterday it surged. When we say it surged, that doesn't even come close to describing what it did. Opening, the previous close was at about 150. It reached a top of 300. That's a 100% move in a single afternoon. And now it is collapsing. And now it is actually lower than prior to the news. So Tilray to $40 is still possible, says the true contrarian. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I have a position in that has an average price of about where it is now, maybe a little bit higher. 134, I believe, is my average, something like that. That would be my cost basis. So if we get up here and reach this target of 149, I'm taking that. I'm taking that profit right there. It'll be a nice winner. So we'll see what happens there. All of these stocks, I mean, Tilray, unbelievable earnings per share. It's ridiculous. And when I say unbelievable, it's very low. The PE ratio on this is just off the chart. All of these cannabis stocks, with an exception for some of the very small new ones, are really hyper overvalued. Right? And that's the case today. In the long run, it's going to be an incredible market. And with this volatility, you can certainly make money, but I think they have to be really quick, short trades, maybe trade options. The implied volatility on this stuff and the ranking over its life is just off the chart. The options are so thick and premium that it makes a lot of sense to then be a net seller of premium on Tilray. So that's what I'm going to be looking at over the weekend and putting together some options videos based around that concept. That's going to be my strategy. Ernie, that was a pump and dump, but remember, the first company to have Rick Simpson oil in caps, similar to vitamins. Making Rick Simpson oil in cap form is super simple. We do it every day. Of course, that requires that you have access to cannabis oil, which means that you don't necessarily have to have access to flour, but if you have your own flour, you can create it. It's not that hard. And I'll do a video on that whole process. It's pretty simple. But Rick Simpson oil is pretty simple to create. You can buy the CBD anywhere. You can make or buy the Rick Simpson oil. You can buy gel caps or veg caps and put the oil in there. Now you have something that you can take. I'll tell you though, if you take it orally, then you're going to get high. And it might take a little while for you to get used to or regulate the amount that you put in there before you start building up a tolerance and just don't get totally blasted. The other possibility is sticking it up your butt as a suppository. True Contrarian says, hyper is the word. After the sell-off, ripe buds for the picking. For the plucking. Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what I did. Waited for the sell-off, started to initiate a position after the gap down and at the bottom. Got some good pricing. If it goes down below 120, I will add to that and look for a quick move up, trying to fill the gap. The gap currently is between 148 and 159. I mean, if we can fill that gap, that'll be a nice winner. Ramon Lopez asks, Ernie, are you looking at any cryptos with your AI tool? What do you think about the surge of XRP in the last 2 days? Really don't think much of it at all. I think that we're all getting played, or you're getting played if you're investing in it, by the whales. There is no news. I mean, well, what's the news? Supposedly there is some news, but XRP and Ripple, they've gone through at least 4 different pivots. You know, they started out wanting to compete with Swift. That failed. Then they went to Wells Fargo. Then they had 2 other ventures, and they're a solution looking for a problem. All right, so now we got the next problem that this is supposed to be a solution to, and it all spikes and everyone's going to be rich now, right? Sure. Don't believe it for a minute. So I really don't think much of Ripple. I have the AI tool. There simply isn't enough data, good, solid, reliable data to use in the AI tool. So that's why we're not putting out calls. There is data out there that we can get, but we'd have to pay for it. And quite frankly, why pay for it when we can get all the other data for free? And we don't even know if it's going to lead to anything that's useful. So for our purposes, it's just not worth it. I think the shorting Bitcoin strategy on every rally is really the only strategy to go by right now. That is the best strategy that's worked for the past 9 months. Just keep on doing it. Doing it until it hurts. That's right. We're going to do it till it hurts. Do it to it. Do it until we start bleeding. We'll just wait for a tiny little cut. Then we'll put a Band-Aid on it and then move on. Ernie, Swift is going crypto. Yeah, I know that. I explained that in many, many videos with the help of IBM. And I explained that too. I mean, I used to work for Sun, and we worked directly with IBM and all the big banks in implementing systems around Swift. So I know all about Swift. This is what I tried to explain to people very early on, how Ripple was unbelievably overvaluated. They didn't have any idea what business that they were getting into, or at least the people that were giving it a valuation of $108 billion when the total revenue of all international banking transfers was under $1 billion. And Swift owned that business. Where did Ripple think that they were going? They were just going to sweep in and take all the business and then use their $108 billion valuation to make $1 billion? That doesn't make any sense. None. You use a plus 100% position for each added short trades. Do you think it is the best ratio? I don't care what the percentage is. I'm just going by where the logical place is to add to the position. Now, keep in mind, and I'm going to emphasize this, the emphasis on emphasize, that I don't start off with a full position. And my full positions, I'll bet anything, are smaller than your positions. I break it up into about 5 tranches. I add to it going up. And that's the reason why I don't put big position sizes on, is that this is just one of many strategies that I use. I do not dwell on Bitcoin or any crypto. We're doing the futures. We're doing the cannabis stocks. We're doing options. You got to look for multiple non-correlated strategies. That's how you control risk. True Contrarian says he bought XRP at 30, sold at 46 cents. Woo-wee! Recently, long-term XRP is nothing burger. Wouldn't hold it for more than 8 minutes as of right now, and I agree 100%. So, none. Just to get back to your question, I showed earlier in this video that I'm looking for the volume wells on the volume profile as logical places to add to this position. I don't care if it's 25% above, 100%, or 300%. That's where I'm going for. Only a fool would dump their entire stake in one trade. Yet, that is precisely what most people are doing in the cryptoverse. Or they're putting all their money into crypto, thinking that if they spread it around to the different altcoins, that somehow is diversifying themselves. Ray says, Ernie, Bitcoin Max failed to see correlation between pump dumps time lapse. They usually occur during the weekends. Asian time, Saturday now for them. I don't really care where the pump and dump is coming from, and whether or not it's coming from the Asian markets or the European or the American markets. It means nothing. There are whales in all the markets, and they can, I'm sure that even the Asians, they do stay up past their bedtime if they have to. And then they have accounts in the other markets, and I'm sure that they're using those. So I wouldn't go by that. All right. So that's the scoop. Let's take a look at Tilray. What? What's Tilray? Tilray is a cannabis stock or a weed stock up in Canada.
I think is it Tilt?
No.
Company Tilt?
No, they're called Tilray. They had another name.
They're owned by a multi-billion-dollar company called Tilt in Canada.
That may be, but they're a $12 billion company.
Well, these ones are multi-billion.
And they've only been around for less than a year. They opened their doors in 2018.
It could be, if they're in America, that could be my dispensary. It sounds familiar.
All right. So bring this over here. And let's change to the other desktop. Ernie, gold was less than $400 before gold launched in 2004 and was the start of gold's parabolic rise through 2011. There is a precedent for physically backed ETFs moving price significantly. All right, we're still on the Bitcoin ETF that it's going to send it to the moon. Ernie, Canada, going. Show me that that's the reason why gold. I mean, I don't buy it. Canada going pot crazy. Canadian company AHLO looking for experienced pot users. They will get free pot the company produces, be paid $1,000 per month, and be social media celebs. Maybe. You know that earlier this year, YouTube came down, just a couple of months ago, came down hard on all the weed channels. They have since restored many of them, but most of them had. What's that?
There's WeedTube now.
WeedTube?
Yeah, that's where all their channels are now.
Where is that on? Is that a separate? Is that a weedtube.com?
It's by High Times, so they're all on WeedTube now.
Oh, so there's a weedtube.com. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, look it up.
Called the WeedTube. Oh, that's so cool. I am 21 years or older. In physical form, I am. So all the previous stars, they're all coming over here, it looks like. This is so cool. All right. Totally awesome. Now, see, this is the way to go. Start your own platform if the YouTube juggernauts can't handle you. Marijuana has never healed anything. Hunter, you have no idea what you're talking about. Now that is very, very cool. All right. Looks like they have lots of good content too on growing and enjoying. See what the categories are. CBD life, comedy, cooking, education, fitness, gaming, growing, gardening, health, beauty, how-to tutorials, etc. All right, well, let's go to Tilray. Tilray down 24% today. Was down as much as 26 or 27% at one point. Market cap of 12.5 billion. Volume is 40% over average volume today. They're rated a buy to a strong buy. Actually, a little, let's see, recommended rating, somewhere between hold and buy. So there was a downgrade earlier this month from outperform to market perform. All right, lots about Tilray. So I'm hoping to make a little bit of money off of Tilray, off of this trade, and then wait for it to come down lower and maybe start accumulating. I think Tilray is one of the majors that's going to be in this market for a while. I think that overall we're going to have prices tend to move up towards the October 17th date. That's the day that Canada legalizes for recreational use. And after that, I think there'll be a pullback. And at that point, we should start seeing some good opportunity to get into some of these other smaller cap stocks and spread it out a little bit. Or you could invest in MJ or HMMJ, the ETFs, which will take a little bit of the headache away from diversifying your holdings. So that's my strategy. Also, like I said earlier, I'm going to start putting out some videos on options, option trading, and option trading basics. And I'll focus on Tilray and other companies like that. And that's all going to be part of the new service. It's going to be an investor service, sort of a membership and newsletter, I guess. And we'll include the futures calls, the artificial intelligence calls. We'll include Bitcoin strategies. We'll include cannabis strategies. All right. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And we'll see you next time. Make sure you hit that like button and share this video. Take care.